Coming up, Northland nurses hit the picket line in Duluth today, looking to raise awareness of ongoing contract negotiations. We'll have a live report. Plus, more on the controversy surrounding plans to build a hotel on Park Point. And a workplace shooting in Albuquerque, New Mexico has left 6 people dead, including the gunman. Your news starts now.
Live from the Northlands News Center, this is the KBJR 6 and Range 11 News at 5.
Good evening. I'm Michelle Lee. Hundreds of nurses from SMDC and St. Luke's hospitals in Duluth took to the streets today to draw attention to the issue of patient safety. Bua Zhang joins us live from SMDC tonight with the top story at 5. And Bua, a big day for the nurses.
Michelle, it certainly was a big day for nurses. The informational picket they had just ended moments ago, and the big topic was patient safety. To talk more about that is Dolly Dahl, who is a nurse at SMDC. You've been working there for 21 years. Can you talk to me a little bit more about these patient-nurse ratios that you guys are out here picketing for?
What the nurses are looking for is the right number of nurses to take care of the right number of patients. Depending on what your unit is, you might need 5 patients for one nurse. You might need a 1-to-1 nurse-to-patient ratio. It just depends on the patient acuity, how sick they are, all their comorbidities that we're seeing with patients. Patients are arriving in our units sicker, and our technology is more complex, and it just takes more nurse time to take care of patients.
So would you say that these nurse-to-patient ratios are kind of dangerous for Duluth?
The staffing right now in Duluth is dangerous. It's scary for nurses to go to work not knowing that they're going to have enough nurses to take care of their patients like we need to take care of patients.
So what is a safe ratio?
Again, it depends on the unit. A safe ratio is that patient is getting all the care that has been ordered by the physicians, all the care that nursing involves. And it's not only the patient, it's the patient families, it's the education, it's the support that these patients are getting when they leave the hospital to go back home.
And this has been a big sticking point. It was for the Twin Cities nurses who tried and tried but failed to get this into their contract. What makes you think that Duluth will be able to get this into their contract?
Staffing in Duluth is far worse than it is in Minneapolis and the metro area. We don't have a lot of the language that the metro contracts do as far as temporary unit closure, some of the floating issues that the nurses here in Duluth face. So those are the things that we're going for, along with better staffing.
So it's kind of the big ticket item that is being pushed for in this new contract. What else do you guys want as you go into negotiations?
Right now we are focused on patient safety and adequate staffing for our patients. We haven't talked about economics or any of those sorts of things yet.
Well, thank you very much, Shelley, for joining us. And Michelle, tomorrow St. Luke's nurses go back into talks, and SMDC will go back into talking July 20th.
Bua, what else are nurses asking for in their new contracts?
Well, like Dolly just mentioned, right now the big main sticking point is patient safety. They have yet to talk about wages and pension. That should be coming up shortly.
All right, thank you very much. Bua Zhang reporting on Duluth nursing. There is some good economic news for those going into the field of nursing here in Minnesota. The field is expected to grow significantly over the next 10 years.
Up next on Eyewitness News, hundreds of local nurses spent the day picketing Duluth hospitals.
I think we're doing a good job advocating for our patients.
Also tonight, 2 people have been charged with attempted murder for a shooting outside a Scanlon bar. Park Pointers are hoping to block the construction of a new hotel at tonight's City Council meeting. And the state is fighting back using airplanes to spray along the North Shore for the unwanted gypsy moth.
Live from the WGIO broadcast studios, this is Eyewitness News at 6 on WGIO WIRT.
Good evening, I'm Dennis Anderson. As contract talks continue for nurses in Duluth, a large informational picket outside local hospitals drew attention to their concerns about patient safety and staffing levels. Renee Pasal was there. Renee, what was the turnout?
Well, Denny, the Minnesota Nurses Association said it was the biggest turnout they've ever had in Duluth, and they're hopeful the message came across loud and clear.
Patient care! Patient care!
A sea of red, because nurses say they are seeing red over the levels of staffing at St. Mary's and St. Luke's.
Our patients deserve the best, and we as nurses feel so frustrated that we cannot do that, given the limited resources that they've provided us.
I ripped my shoulder transferring a patient due to unsafe staffing. It was actually myself and a doctor because there wasn't another staff member available.
In their new contracts, they want more nurses to cover the workload. They also want the ability to say no to patient assignments, something that Twin Cities nurses are able to do. Some of those Twin Cities nurses came up to join in the picket, along with family members and even a dog or two. Located right outside SMDC's main hospital, drivers showed their support too. The estimate was about 750 of the 1,300 RNs covered in this contract would participate.
And I think it makes a statement to the community on how much we care for your health and well-being.
The contracts expired June 30th. Spokeswomen from both St. Luke's and St. Mary's said negotiations have been moving forward in a respectful manner. SMDC also said their staffing is at or better than national levels.
The Minnesota Nurses Association says they know the contract won't be resolved just because of the one-day picket. In fact, they've got 3 negotiations scheduled with both SMDC and St. Luke's through August, and they're hopeful to have a new contract by the end of the summer. In Duluth, I'm Renee Pasal for Eyewitness News.
In other news, the Hibbing fire chief says he will continue to do his job as normal despite a vote of no confidence from the firefighters union.